What's going on, everybody? It's Double A Buckets back with another video, and we've got the fourth episode of the What to Expect series, looking at the NBA teams and how I'm expecting them to do next season. Today's video is all about the New York Knicks, who look like a very interesting team that is unpredictable, and for all we know, they could be one of the best teams in the East or one of the worst teams in the East. However, they have made some good trades and have changed their head coach, so people around Madison Square Garden are getting very excited, and rightly so. As you guys already know, the Knicks were one of the worst teams in the NBA last season, with a poor record of 32-50, and although that is an improvement from the previous year, where they finished with a record of 17-65, they didn't seem to be making any progress towards making the playoffs, even with starman Carmelo Anthony playing most of the season. Finishing with the 7th worst record in the NBA last season, nobody would have thought that the expectations for the Knicks would have been this high, but trading for Derrick Rose and signing free agents Courtney Lee and Joakim Noah has made the Knicks have a strong starting lineup, and adding Coach Hornacek also was a good replacement for fired coach Derek Fisher. So let's take a deeper look into the changes made by Phil Jackson that has made the Knicks become a good bet to make the conference finals. So the Bulls agreed to a multiplayer trade with the Knicks that sent center Robin Lopez and guards Jose Calderon and Jerian Grant to the Bulls, which gave Justin Holiday, Derrick Rose and a 2017 second round pick back to the Knicks. Although many question marks are always being raised around the fitness of Chicago native Derrick Rose, if he can stay fit, then the Knicks have got themselves a star point guard and a huge upgrade for Jose Calderon, but there is always that risk when you have D Rose in your team, because this move could either be great if he stays fit or be a nightmare if he still keeps on getting injured. I, however, expect him to shine under the spotlight in Madison Square Garden and see him averaging about 20 points and 8 assists per game when healthy. Everyone forgets that just a few years back he was league MVP, and although he clearly isn't that good anymore, he's still a superstar and his playing time is increasing over the last 2 seasons. The other 2 players who the Knicks signed who are expected to start are free agents Courtney Lee and Joakim Noah. Courtney Lee has played for a total of 6 different NBA teams and is looking to finally settle with a team after having an average season individually with the Charlotte Hornets, averaging just 8.9 points, 2.1 assists and 3.1 rebounds per game, and the 6'5" shooting guard has finally found a team that suits his play, and I believe he will stay with the Knicks for at least 3 seasons, as there are so many pull factors, such as living in New York City, playing with superstar teammates, and also playing in the home of basketball, the Madison Square Garden. Lee is a sharp 3-point shooter, averaging 38.4% from deep, and rarely misses when opens, so he can be a huge threat when opponents focus more on players like Melo, D Rose and Porzingis. Although his career field goal percentage is high for a shooting guard at 45%, he needs to shoot more. With the Hornets last year, he took less than 8 shots per game, which isn't ideal for a starting shooting guard. Joakim Noah, a New York native, was also signed by the Knicks, as I had previously mentioned. The 6'11" center brings a lot to the table. Having played with Derrick Rose in Chicago for 8 years, there is a good chemistry between the point guard and center, and that can be utilized in pick and roll situations. Noah is a solid rebounder of the ball and has averaged 10.2 rebounds per game in the last 4 seasons, which shows that he is also very consistent and reliable. He's not that great of a scorer though, scoring 4.3 points per game last season, although you could argue that his minutes were limited due to injuries, but a career average of 9.3 points per game is not something to be proud of. His free throw shooting is also unreliable and his form is ridiculous, and since the 2012-13 season, where he has averaged 75.15 from the line, his percentage from the line has gone down every season, and most significantly last season, where his free throw percentage went from 60.3% from the season before last to an embarrassing 48.9% last season. That forces him to not get involved near the end of games, as his low percentage free throws can be costly. However, Noah is a good defensive player to have on your team, and issues like poor free throw shooting can be fixed if you practice enough. Now that we've gone through the starting point guard, shooting guard and center, we've only got the small forward position to talk about, as I've already spoken about Porzingis as a power forward in one of my previous videos. Going into his 7th season, Carmelo Anthony is in desperate need to make the playoffs for the first time in 4 seasons, and turning 33 at the end of next season, if he wants to win a championship, the time is now. Having averaged 25.2 points, 7.2 rebounds and 3.3 assists during his 6 seasons with the Knicks, Melo is clearly the best player, and he needs to step his game up to another level if he wants to reach the conference finals at the very least. He is currently playing with Team USA in the Olympics, but I believe he should stay at home and have heavy workout sessions instead of chasing his third Olympic gold medal. I expect Melo to average at least 25 points per game, but I want to see his assists go up to at least 5 per game. I believe the Knicks will win at least 45 games this season, as I have said in my Porzingis video, and that guarantees them playoff action but doesn't put them as one of the top teams to come out of the East. They'll most likely be somewhere between 5th seed and 7th seed in my opinion, and I think they will win the first round of the playoffs if they finish 5th seed, but I don't see them going forwards from there. That will be a huge improvement from last season and could set the Knicks up for potentially the last season in Melo's prime. And if they add more stars, they could take the experience from the year that will have just passed and make a very exciting playoff run the next season. That's all from this video about what I'm expecting from the New York Knicks next season. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new, please subscribe. Peace.